Yeah.
Tonight, it's on the 5 o'clock news.
We're
snowstorms.
Literally
suck.
Always off center. All I want to do
I think we're good now.
is a boom, 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 and a zoom, zoom. And shake
Remember when I
your
said
rump.
about tape that you've not done yet?
No, I haven't done that yet. Have you?
It's not my job. I'm the towel. I don't set the stage. I am the stage.
Are we?
That was clever. You didn't give me any props.
I wasn't listening. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Ah, I'm tired.
Kiss and pat.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
Board games.
And
board gamey things.
Exactly. We are here today, people, to give you our January board game wrap up. We just did a bunch of top 50 videos, so now we're back to our regular programming.
Regular scheduled programming.
Regular scheduled programming. I hope that you enjoyed our top 50 and Kyle's top 10.
Didn't Kyle do great?
Kyle did great.
Good
Everybody,
job, Kyle.
let Kyle know how well he did.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what we're talking about today. Not everything's about Kyle.
Yeah, it's true.
Only 80% of the time
True.
are things about Kyle.
Everyone was like, Team Kyle, Team Kyle.
What are we? Chop
I guess
liver?
We're chop liver now.
Gross. Chop liver. Ew. We are here to do our wrap-up video and talk about the games that we played in the month of January, what we thought about them, whether we liked them or not. Now, we played a substantial amount of games, different games in January. There's 49 on the list. That's not including games that we didn't play together. So we're only tracking games that we've played together with other people. If I play... Or solo. So if I played games on BGA with people and Jeff wasn't there, it's not tracked, and vice versa. So 49 games that we've played together. So because there's so many, we're not going to dive deep into every single one like we usually do.
No.
Because ain't nobody got time for that.
Quick and snappy, people.
Quick
Let's
and snappy.
keep it light.
We
got
know
things to do.
We got things
You got
to
things
do.
to do.
I got a nap I need to take.
Naps.
Snacks.
Snacks.
Definitely.
Definitely.
For sure.
For sure.
Easily.
Easily.
The first game that we played in January, the way that we kicked in the new year, was with Familiar Tales from Plaid Hat Games.
What a way to kick it in.
We got an entire video on this one, peeps. Like a whole video, all about it. So if you want to learn more about Familiar Tales, which is an amazing, very cute campaign game, then you can check out that video. We'll link it down below, won't
Link
we?
it in the description?
We'll link it.
Is that what it's called?
Link it in the description. He's getting it now. Now he's on to the
learning.
YouTube lingo. We also played Fantasy Realms this month. We played Silver Bullet, of course, Trek 12, Res Arcana, and maybe now we'll dive into one that was a first time for us, and that is Cascadia. Cascadia, people, is a game that I've been wanting to try for forever. This is from the people who are the publisher who brought us Calico, which we all know I love. That's Flat Out Games. We played this with Tyler and Ilya from Cobble.
We did.
Who we love. It was on Tabletopia that we played, so it was digital. We're trying to get more into Tabletopia.
I'm really struggling.
But we played it, and guess what? I freaking loved it.
Yeah, it was very good.
I still want to buy it, and I want to play the physical game before I decide if I like it more than Calico. Because at the moment, I don't.
We do have it on order.
We do?
We do.
That's amazing.
At the Boardroom Game Cafe.
At the Boardroom Game Cafe. Cascadia is another kind of like tile placement, habitat, ecosystem type of game where you're like laying out different tiles, and then you got these little chippy things that have like animals on them, and the animals all score in different ways. So you're just trying to score the most points. Yeah,
like eagles need to be not around other eagles, and fish
very territorial
need to be in like little like schools and stuff. Yeah, it's so good.
100%. I loved it. Did you like it?
I did.
Yeah, we had a ton of fun, and I'm really excited to play this again. Then, also with Tyler and Ilya, we got to play Skate Summer.
Skate Summer.
Which is a new release from Pandasaurus that is it still currently on Kickstarter?
Yes, I believe so.
Which we did back.
We have backed it.
Because we loved it after we played it. Jeffrey, would you like to talk a little bit about Skate Summer?
Sure. So we played that with Tyler and Ilya, hosted by Danny from Pandasaurus. It's a push your luck game. You're doing multiple tricks. Think Tony Hawk. Very much like Tony Hawk, the video game. you are doing multiple tricks, and the more tricks you try to do, the more likelihood that you will fall off your board and crash.
Classic skateboarder.
On top of that, there's a city map that you are moving around trying to collect the letters for skate, just like in Tony Hawk. You can do big air to go back to the center of the map and kind of move around. The artwork's incredible. The gameplay was super fun.
So fun.
I think the theme fits so well with the push your luck element because it makes thematic sense that the more tricks you do, the more likelihood, because you're chaining tricks together, the more likelihood that you're going to wipe out. Super, super awesome.
We did go all in.
Oh, definitely worth it.
All in, because when you go all in on the Kickstarter, there's like miniatures, and they also have monster versions of the skaters. Yes, so excited to get that copy. But that's Skate Summer from Pandasaurus Games. Next up, a game that I talked about that we bought at PAX, and we didn't just buy it, like we bought it, like
Jamie,
all of it.
I don't know what the we is here.
You were enabling me to do this, and so I then did it. Sorry. Where are you going?
My slipper was falling off.
Uh-oh. And that is Final Girl from Van Wilder.
Rider. That's a movie.
That's a movie. Final Girl. Final Girl.
It's a gal.
That is Final Girl from Van Ryder Games, which I'm sure you have heard a ton about already because everybody is talking about it. Indeed. This is a solo horror-themed game where you are playing as the final girl in the horror movie. Everybody else around is getting killed. Freaking bunch of dummies. They're at makeout point where they shouldn't be. There's a murder on the loose. Hello. The final girl that you are playing, you are trying to save the victims, get them out of the location where they are, yell at them, hey, the butcher's coming.
Over there is a murderer. Yes. Run in the opposite direction.
Exactly. So you're trying to get the victims out, and you're also, of course, trying to kill the murderer before they kill you. It is so fun. So fun. It is very difficult. I won the first time I played and then realized that I did in fact cheat on accident for sure. So I've played this 3 times now. I have played the Happy Trails set twice, which is this one, which is the one they recommend.
I was going to say, which ones have you played?
Yeah, they recommend you start with this one. So I played this one twice with each of the final girls. Each set comes with 2 girls. There's one, there's the other. So I've played with both of them. And the killer is Hans in this one. Hans the Butcher. And then I've also played Sacred Grove. I can't remember the full title of it, but is with the Inkenyamba killer. And I played that once so far with one of the girls, and the publisher has said that that is the most difficult set. It was a huge jump from the easiest one, that's for sure. I haven't won it yet. That one was very difficult, but it is so fun. I am kind of obsessed with this game. I love it. I think you would really like it too. Yeah. Technically, you can play it co-op if you wanted to, but I don't think that's very fun.
Next up, we have from Roxley Games, Radlands.
Beautiful.
And this is the deluxe edition.
A stunner.
Radlands is a 2-player card dueling game where you have 3 lanes, and within each lane is a base, and you are trying to destroy all 3 of the other players' bases. You can block the bases with punks or characters that you put out on the board that have special activations that you can trigger. It's just really cool. There's a little resource component with water, which is your main resource in order to activate abilities and put more cards on the table. Perfect game for Jamie and I.
Yeah, it's just a head-to-head dueling game. The theme is so cool. The cards are awesome. I would love to see eventually maybe some expansions for it.
I would assume they're gonna.
I think it would be great, but we are just like loving this game, and it's a stunner. Stone cold stunner.
It is a stunner. So it's the belle of the ball.
It's the belle of the ball. Okay, some other games that we have been playing a lot of that we've already played and talked about many a times is we got Back to Root. We're on the app again. We're playing that again. Draftosaurus. We actually, spoiler alert, but we bought the physical copy recently, and we finally have gotten to play this in person, which has been great. We've been playing a lot of 6 Nimmt, like 4 times. Welcome to, Similo, and Parks are some more that we've been playing specifically all on BGA.
With the
Nightfall expansion.
Nightfall expansion, which we just recently purchased.
Back into some of the new games that we've been playing. Detective Club is one that we played, and that we played on a new platform called Festa, which is Tabletopia's party game style platform that is going to be coming out soon.
I'm not sure the date, but
Not
yeah,
sure
I think soon.
But we were testing out some of the games on there, and Detective Club is one. It's a game that Doolin loves. We did play with the Table Nuts crew, and it's kind of like a social deduction type of game where you're trying to convince other people that you know what everybody else is trying to do.
Yeah, with like abstract.
Like Dixit-style cards.
Yeah.
Mysterium-style cards.
You got it.
Yeah, so it was fine. I think it's one that I'd prefer to play in person.
Yeah.
Then, also, with the Table Nuts crew, we played a game called Spot It, which is maybe the most stressful game.
I don't remember that.
That's probably because we were terrible at it. And basically in this game, it's showing you images, and you're trying to like spot the same images in your pool of things. You got to be quick.
That's
and guess what, people? We're not that quick at that game.
It reminded me of Ghost Blitz.
Yeah, it was intense. We played it on BGA. I was overwhelmed. Another one I think I would prefer in person.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure this is a game for children, and I don't know how children play this game, because my brain was just not processing.
It reminds me of Ghost Blitz. And what was that other game that we played? It's not
I
Concept.
Spy.
It reminds me of Ghost Blitz and Anomia, and those are just games that I just do not. It's just not my cup of tea.
Not his cup of tea, people.
No.
You know what is his cup of tea? Earl Grey or Twinings English breakfast.
I'm into Twinings right now.
But Twinings is a brand, it's not a flavor. You keep saying, give me Twinings, but we also have Twinings peppermint.
Here's the thing. You can't say that because you know when I say I want
Because I know
Twinings.
that you don't know what it means.
You know when I say Twinings what I want. So
You guys
what
tell
does
me
it
if
matter?
we say Twinings, do you know what kind of tea you're
Yeah,
talking
English
about?
breakfast. I
Well,
want.
that's the flavor.
I understand it's English breakfast.
English.
Earl Grey's a brand too, isn't it?
No, that's a flavor. It's Tetley that we have.
Anyways.
Blah, blah, blah,
Blah,
blah.
blah, blah,
I know
blah,
all
blah.
my teas.
I do. And I know how to dot my I's, too.
Oh my god.
Next up is another new to us game, and that is Unmatched Cobble and Fog, which we picked up recently as well
Where?
at the Boardroom Game Cafe. Could you believe it?
I mean,
they always got us covered. They always got what we need.
every time we go in there, money being dropped.
You know, you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes at the Boardroom Game Cafe, you just might find you get what you need. And that is exactly what this game was.
That was well done.
Thank you, Jeffrey, because this game is freaking amazing.
It was so fun.
How has it taken us? Why did you guys let us wait this long?
It's been
to play
recommended
this?
so many
what
times.
What is going on? This is well, it says 2 to 4 players. I would not want to play this at more than 2 because I think you have to team up. And this is a head-to-head game where you are playing as there's 4 different characters in this set. There is Dracula, Sherlock, the Invisible Man, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We played as Sherlock and Dracula, and you're just going against each other, trying to kill each other. And it's so fun. What?
Who won?
I don't remember. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I haven't been saying who won and who lost. And do you want to know why? Because it doesn't matter.
Because Jamie has
doesn't
said
matter.
multiple times that it's a good thing we're not counting anymore. We haven't started our
I feel
one
like
night a week thing or
no,
month or whatever.
I think January we just kind of wanted to give ourselves like
a break a bit.
Let's just have a little bit of a break.
And good thing for Jamie because I am on a streak.
Listen, if I don't care about winning, then I don't care about winning.
Can I just
wanna
say
have
quickly
fun.
what I like most about this?
Yep, no, I don't want to know.
What a cool way to do line of sight.
Yes, very neat.
So line of sight in this game is if you are on the same floor type or terrain type as the other character, you have
Line of sight.
You don't have to do like it's this corner and this thing and it's so many spaces away. It's just easy. I
Peasy.
love how easy they made this game to play.
Easy breezy.
It was really cool to play Dracula versus Sherlock.
Yep, I am beyond excited that we have this, and I now want every single set.
Shocking.
Let us know in the comments below what set is your favorite, because I know I want to get the dinosaur one. And that is Unmatched.
Dracula was so fun to play.
Cobble and Fog. Yeah, I'm very excited to continue playing this.
Yeah.
Next up, Jeffrey, let's talk about Quantum, which we played on BGA.
Quantum is a game.
What?
I've always loved Quantum. I haven't played it in a hot minute. Jamie hates Quantum. Like,
I wouldn't say I hate it.
strongly dislike.
Very strongly, yeah. The borderline hate.
So we played Quantum on BGA. I have recently perhaps gotten a copy of Quantum. Thank you, Tim. I do also think I have people that are somewhat in the hobby. I have friends that are trying to like get in, or I'm trying to get in, that would love Quantum.
Yeah.
They're big chess players. So Quantum is a dice manipulation. I guess you're kind of playing quantum cubes onto planets. The first person to get 4 of their quantum cubes, I believe. I keep saying
struggling
cubes.
with cubes.
The first person to get their 4 quantum cubes onto the board wins. And it's very chess-like. You know, your dice are different ship types, and they have different values depending on what type of ship they are, and they can do certain special abilities based off the number. I'm so excited I got to play it again, and I'm very, very, very excited to get a physical copy of this because it's very difficult to find.
Out of print now.
And I know that I have at least 3 people around me that would love this game, and it might bring them in. And I think that would be awesome if I could make that happen.
I'm not one of those people.
No, this is not a game I'm going to probably play with you.
I will play it if you really want to play it.
Well, I'll play it because you will play it because I love it.
Yes.
Much...
But, like, I played it with you on the app and with some Discord friends. And I'm like, I
think it's fair.
What is the hype with this game?
Well, I mean, there's no real hype. I mean, I don't think a lot of people are hyping this up.
But game.
I'm hyping it up, but...
Next up, we played Fort with the Cats and Dogs expansion. This was sent to us from Leader Games, so thank you to Leader Games for sending this to us, as Fort is, well, you know what? I'm going to spoil it, but it might be in my top 10. And if you haven't watched that video yet, maybe you should, because then you wouldn't have gotten spoiled. This adds cats and dogs into Fort. Ask me how I feel about it. I feel really good. I feel very, very good.
Do you feel good about because it's cats and dogs, or do you feel good because of the mechanics?
All of it. Literally all of it. So, like, with the Cats and Dogs expansion, you can play with just the cats or just the dogs or both. We played with both. Basically, the cats are attracted to you based on what kind of things you have in your yard. So the cats are kind of moving back and forth between yards, which is very thematic because cats are always moving around yards. We see them outside all the time doing it. The one thing is that neither of us attracted any cats until the very end, so that kind of sucked. But then they give you like different abilities
kind of the way
and
the
triggers.
Game played out, though.
Now with the dogs, you start off with a dog house that you put next to your board, and you start off with 3 different dog cards in your hand. What was that one? There was one called Pumpkin, and he had like a piece of pizza in his mouth, and Floofer. Was that one?
Yeah, I think it was Floofer. Yeah.
And basically, these are just played like as you would play your kid cards. Once again, there's like different objectives you need to meet. You complete the thing, you do the thing, you put the dog in the dog house, and they score you points at the end of the game. It just like kind of ups the level of strategy
100%.
in Fort. And like if you don't use your dog and they go to your backyard, then the dog's gonna run away to the other backyard and all of this stuff. It's fantastic. I love Fort, and I don't think that we'll ever play it without these now.
I was just going to say, I don't think I'd ever want to play base Fort again.
No, and this box is empty.
Not that,
I just put it in.
I also love
there.
Fort.
Oh, yes.
I've never lost at Fort, which is
I
amazing.
win.
I didn't lose in Fort with the Cats and Dogs expansion
and I still
either.
love it, so
I
that's
did
how you know it's freaking good. All right, Jeffrey.
All right, next up, we have one of my favorite games of all time.
It's on my list,
Maybe you need
too.
to go check out the list to figure out where it landed. But
yeah, you'll never know.
from Fantasy Flight Games, we have Lord of the Rings, The Confrontation.
Yes.
So we tabled this again twice.
We played it twice, and then I played it once as well without you, with Zach.
In our 2 plays, I've only ever played as Sauron. Jamie has played as the Fellowship only. And we split our gameplays, I believe. I won once, and Jamie got Frodo to Mount Doom once. In Lord of the Rings Confrontation, it is Stratego with a Lord of the Rings theme. You are only able to move your characters forward. Some have the ability to move side to side or, you know, anywhere on the map. Ultimately, you have an objective. Sauron's objective is to kill Frodo or get 4 of his minions to the Shire. The Fellowship's win con is to get Frodo to Mount Doom.
Yeah.
That's
so
it.
he can drop the ring and go boop.
That's it.
Bye.
And the battling mechanics are cool because no one can see each other's character, just like in Stratego.
Yeah.
And once you battle, you have to
reveal
who you're fighting against, and they have different
powers.
Player powers and different strength, and it's just very quick, very chess-like, very strategic. Love, love, love. And I mean, it's Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings.
And so thematic. Like, there are certain like Samwise Gamgee. Gamgee.
Yeah, Samwise Gamgee.
Gamgee. His special power is that he's stronger when he's with Frodo.
On top of that, the entire Fellowship is weaker in general than Sauron.
Yes.
So they're really about sneaking around and making sure like they're not being like attacked and stuff, and Sauron's
and their player
are...
powers, like the Fellowship, is very much so all about sacrifice. There's multiple who are just like this person basically sacrifices themselves and both players die, kind of thing. So yeah.
All about getting Frodo to Mount Doom.
Yeah, anything for the cause.
Yeah.
Then we also have played Brew this month, and we played Abandon All Artichokes and Downforce. We finally got to play our physical copy of Downforce, which was fantastic. You're going to see a little bit of that in an upcoming board game weekend. Stay tuned for that. But another new one to us this month was Arboretum, aka meme trees that hurt your friends' feelings.
Played it so wrong.
I won. Not that we're keeping track, but I did. Arboretum is just a very simple card game where you are building out your arboretum of trees, creating different paths of trees to score points. The thing about this game and why it is so mean, which we love mean games, is because you want to hang on to certain cards in your hand, and if you have the highest card number of that tree type, only you get to score that. So if I happen to see that Jeff is building out a bunch of cherry blossoms, what a lovely arboretum he's got going on there. But I know I've got the 8 card in my hand, and I can see he's already played the 1 because they cancel each other out. Then I'm like, well, tough.
Not going to score
Guess
those
what? You're
bad
not going to
boys.
score it. You've been working this whole time building out that beautiful arboretum for nothing.
Guess what I forgot about in that game?
What?
Keeping cards in my hand so I could score them at the end.
Yeah, because you can't score your trees if you don't have a card of that type in your hand. So it's like a really big give and take of like, what do I lay, what do I keep? And you always have to discard a card, so you can't keep everything. And I really liked it. Definitely one that we will travel with, I think, for sure, when we go anywhere.
I got crushed because I didn't play it properly, but I had a ton of fun.
It was frickin' fun. So that's Arboretum.
All right, next up is from Sandtime Games, and it is a upcoming Kickstarter. So we have a pre-release edition of this, and you will see multiple videos coming up about this in the future.
Yes.
And that is Antares Kingdom. In Antares Kingdom, it's a really unique take on set collection. I don't want to say too much about it because there is content coming up. I got similar vibes to Call to Adventure, but with more kingdom building, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So in Antares Kingdom, you're playing through multiple decades.
Yep, 3 decades. So
3
30
decades.
years.
30 years in total, and you're just building out your kingdom. And at the end of every decade, your kingdom kind of builds up and falls, builds up and falls in order to score victory points. You're getting attacked, you're harvesting goods, etc., etc., etc. Again, you will see content coming up about this. We've been having a lot of fun playing it and getting to know the system and learning enough about it so that we can show it to you. That is Antares Kingdom from Sandtime Games. Keep your eyes peeled for that.
Peel them. Cool beans. Okay, next up is a game that we would have got in December, I believe. We haven't actually talked about this yet fully, and that is Cuphead, a fast-rolling dice game. And this was sent to us for review by the Op game, so thank you to the Op for sending this box of stress. This is based off of a video game. There's also a TV show coming to Netflix around this whole theme, and it is a real-time dice rolling game where you are trying to defeat different bosses. It's like a campaign style game. It comes with an app. The app is just there for the timer, some theme music, and to help you keep control or track of your scoring. So basically in this game, you are, like I said, trying to defeat a boss. The boss has certain different triggers or dice faces that you need to get in order to hit him. And then there's different ways that you can also attack as well. You can choose to do this in 10 seconds, 15 seconds, or 20 seconds, depending on your tolerance for stress. And
anyone does it in 10 seconds.
So we've been playing it on 15 seconds. And in that 15 seconds, you're just rolling dice, you're rolling dice, you're rolling dice. And just like Jeff says, you're rolling dice.
You did it.
Then you are just matching it up with the boss. And if you die, you die, basically. And it is stressful, it is difficult, but it is so fun.
I haven't played the video game, but I hear the video game is
also difficult.
Incredibly cutthroat and difficult. This game is also incredibly difficult.
Fun.
It's so good.
I actually think we might do a playthrough of this because I just think that we can't really get across the feeling of this game by doing a review. You just need to see it in action to watch us stress. Now the next one is one that it's not our typical type of game.
This is an interesting one. So this is from GMT Games, and it's in the Coin series, and that is Cuba Libre.
Cuba. That's why you keep saying cube instead of cubes.
So we've been playing this asynchronously with our friend Rodney. We're on our second game.
First one was a learning game.
First, still a bit of a learning game in our second one. There's a lot going on. So in Cuba
It's a
Libre,
process.
asymmetrical, you're playing as the 26th July, the Directorio, the
That's
government, or the syndicate.
Yeah.
And each faction has a different win con and plays completely differently. And there's card events that come up that change the game and change the flow of the game over each round.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you are trying to push control of certain provinces and cities, collect resources in order to meet your win condition.
Take down the freaking government.
This game is interesting because I didn't think Jamie was going to like this. I had purchased this thinking that it would be a game I would play asynchronously with Rodney, and Jamie wouldn't. But then when we got it, we talked about it, and Jamie was like, I'd like to try it. And good thing she did because she loves it. I also love it. And if my top 50 was coming out next week, this might make the list.
But it's not. If you're wondering what coin means, because it's something that I've wondered forever, it means counterinsurgency. So if someone's saying coin game, it doesn't mean that you're going after a bunch of treasure, which is initially what I thought that it did mean.
Definitely recommend checking it out.
We're having a ton of fun. Next up is one that almost everybody has played by this point, but not us. We just learned it, and that is Splendor, which is like a gateway game of the ages for everybody. And I crushed Jeff and Michelle like grapes when we played. And I didn't know what I was doing half the time, and then the other half I finally figured it out. And basically this is just a simple game where you're collecting gems to try and buy more gems that are permanent so you can attract people to you. Nobles, because they love gems just like me. Maybe I'm a noble.
Maybe.
Could be.
Yeah.
So that's Splendor. And it's just like, it's a game that everybody has played that we were like, we should probably learn how to play Splendor.
I learned it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's not difficult.
No.
And it was fun. It's not a game. I don't think that I would need to buy it. We don't have the nostalgia factor that a lot of people
if I
have
had
with
played
it.
that when I first got into the hobby, I definitely would have loved it a lot more. But
then we played another one of our favorites that might be on our top 50 list, who's to say? And that is Through the Ages, a new story of civilization. Jeffrey.
Through the Ages is a massive Civ game where you are purchasing cards to upgrade your military, to upgrade buildings so that you can produce more food, you can produce more science in order to get better technologies and score culture points, which ultimately lead you to victory. There's event cards that come up, military card events you can fight and bid over with the other players, but it basically is just you're building out your civilization as quickly as possible and developing new technologies in order to score victory points. The person with the most points at the end wins.
We played this with Tim, our friend from the Discord, and I love this game, but I don't think I love playing it on BGA.
This was actually the second or third game of this I'd played on BGA. Those big games I don't think they bode well to BGA because there's so much going on and you forget things that happened, especially asynchronously. Still love that game. Just hard to table. Yeah. It's a long boy.
Yeah. Then we played Dungeon Petz for the first time, and we played this with friends of the Discord, including Michelle and Tony G. Who has a very clever BGA name that took us forever to figure out.
It's Toe, Knee, Knee, G, Tony G.
So long
Tony G. And it took me forever to realize that.
Anyways.
Forever.
So Dungeon Petz is a game that we know nothing about. We played it.
Still don't know how to play it.
Still don't know how to play it. But basically, you are buying pets from a pet store, and then you got to take care of them by cleaning up their poop and feeding them.
Playing with them and
doing all these things. That's all I know. Another game that I need to play the physical version of because we did no rules teach. No, sometimes we just go in there and we're just like, let's just figure it out, which essentially means we just click around until things happen.
What's the board game barrage word for that?
Clunding, I think.
That was a clunding.
Yeah, don't know.
Still
I don't know if I like it or not. I couldn't tell you.
No.
Next up, we have Clans of Caledonia that we played with Kyle and Kevin.
Yeah, so we've been playing, or I guess we played one game of Clans of Caledonia. Is it still ongoing?
I hope not.
Clans of Caledonia is a... It's a Euro game with a really, really cool market. And what I think was the coolest thing about Clans of Caledonia is how the market works. It's just a constant ebb and flow of price of goods based off of supply and demand. The more wheat that you buy, the more expensive it is for the next player to purchase. And you are developing your network of farms or neighborhoods on the map with sheep and cattle and milk and cheese and all of these things in order to fulfill contracts.
Kyle
Jamie
freaking loves this game.
I'm probably butchering the explanation because again, it's one of these games
I couldn't
that
explain it
we
to you.
also one of those games that
Can't
I
do
think
it on
I'd do
BGA.
better if it was in front of me playing.
Yep.
But I've really been enjoying Clans of Caledonia, and I'd love to play it in person.
Sure. Then we also played Tapestry with Kyle, which is a game that we have played before, but we haven't played it in forever. We also played on BGA Isle of Cats and Fuji Flush and Skull King. We played in person. We've also played King Domino this month. And a new one to us that we also learned on BGA is a Feast for Odin, a Beast of Odin, that I think I finally started to understand nearing the very end of the game. So this is a very large worker placement, tile placement, Uwe Rosenberg game.
Masterpiece.
Where all I wanted to do was make cow babies, and I did. So, is it a success? I think so. Jeff's been playing a ton of this.
I am now obsessed with Feast
I've
for
only
Odin.
played it once. We played with Joe and Michelle, and Joe taught us on BGA. And yeah, it's a lot. It's a huge game.
I wouldn't say it's an overly complicated game in terms of the mechanics of how it works.
So many
There's
options.
just so many options on the board. But once you play one game, you get it.
Yeah.
You get it pretty well. There might be a little bit of nuance that you need to ask questions about, but I'm here to state that A Feast for Odin is incredible, and I absolutely loved it.
During Board Game Weekend, we played a bunch of new to us games. One of them was CuBirds, which is this adorable little card game where you are, it's set collection basically, where you are just like laying out different bird cards, and the birds look like cube birds. And you're just kind of like sandwiching them in and then taking all the cards in the middle to build your hand and lay down sets.
So good.
So you can see some gameplay of that during Board Game Weekend, but yeah, we both really enjoyed that.
And it's on BGA.
And it is on BGA, and it was designed by a Canadian. Then we played Good Cop, Bad Cop, which is a social deduction game where you are trying to kill the kingpin and or the agent.
Depending on if you're a good cop or a bad cop.
Yeah.
So you get cards dealt out to you to start the game. The majority rules, so if I had 2 cops and 1
crooked cop
or bad person, I have 2 to 1, so I'd be on the good team. So my objective is to
kill the kingpin.
Kill the kingpin. Conversely, if I have 2 bad guys in front of me, 1 cop, I'm on the bad team. I'm trying to kill the agent.
Yes, and cards can get moved throughout the game, so you might start as a kingpin, and then it might move, and then you might be the agent, which happened to me. I literally was the kingpin. I had the gun pointed at the agent, and my cards got switched, and I suddenly became good. I found the light. I saw the light, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to be bad anymore. And I was like, well, that sucks, because I'm pointing the gun right at the person that I don't want to die. So anyways, I had a ton of fun with it. I thought that it was
very good.
It's just like a quick little party
and
game.
everyone around the table doesn't know who's what because cards start moving around and it's like, oh my god, who do I trust?
Yes.
Very good.
Then we played Rhino Hero, which is it's from Haba.
Yeah.
It is a dexterity game. I think this is a children's game, but oh my god.
It was a lot of fun.
You're building this tower, this house tower, and this little
cards.
rhino superhero is like being placed into it, and you're trying not to knock it over. It's so much freaking fun. I love these types of games.
It was very good.
Oh my god. We were like standing up, we were screaming. It was so tall, I couldn't
see if I could find that. I'd like to buy that game.
I want that game really, really bad. Yeah.
Next up, we played Coup. Coup is a game that I think
one of our first games
got into when we first got into the hobby, and we just haven't played it in a very long time. We played it on BGA. Don't recommend. We then just played it in person, and I fell in love with it all over again. It's just a lying game. You're lying to everyone, or not lying.
You might be the Duke, but
you have 2 cards in front of you, and those 2 cards are different types of people, which allow you to do certain actions in the game. And they're face down, and you would say, for example, if I have a Duke in front of me, I would say, as a Duke, I'm taking 3 coins from the supply.
And I would say, liar!
And so everyone around the table can say, I don't believe you. And if you're right, you flip the Duke up and they lose one of their characters. Once you lose both of your characters, you're out of the game.
You did.
And you would draw a new one. It's really good.
It's fun, and we haven't played it in forever, and we played it 3 times this weekend, and we just had a blast. It's just a good game to pull out when you need something to break up heavier games.
Agreed.
Then we played one from our Play Your Shelves challenge, so we knocked one off, and that is The Mind. And this is from Pandasaurus Games, The Mind. This lovely little card game where you're laying out you're trying to lay numbers consecutively, and you can't talk to each other, so, you know, you have to just very get very meta and be like, okay, I got a 3, I better play that fast. And someone's like, what are you doing? I had a 1. Or if you're Jason and you have a 30, you play it really quickly because we waited too long. It's a mind game. It's just a quiet little game where you're trying to figure out when to lay the right card. And Jeff still hates it.
No.
And what?
I got a hot take for you. I was kind of joking around at the end. I actually had fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
I did.
We did it, people. Jeff has been converted to it.
I wouldn't say I love it, but
He
I
loves it.
I had a pretty good time
We
playing
only
it.
got to round 5, but
It's
did
got
it.
its time and place.
We did
It
it,
definitely
people.
has its time and place.
Yeah. All right. Then we played a big boy. We played Nemesis from
Ugh.
Awaken Realms. We played it competitively. You can play this cooperatively or competitively. We would never play cooperatively. And basically, you're just trying to reach your objective by the end of the game, and everybody has a different objective, and nobody knows what's going on, and some people are lying to you, and I almost won.
There is a collective objective too, though, which is to get to Earth.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're into that kind of thing.
I absolutely love Nemesis. I now want a copy of Nemesis because it's beautiful. It's beautiful production, as Awaken
Beautiful.
Realms does. It was incredibly punishing, and it was so fun. It came down literally to the last turn between Jamie and Jason. The rest of us had died, but it came down right to the very end.
Yep. You can watch that in our upcoming
Chef's
board game
kiss.
weekend, but I literally was so mad because I was just about to win and Jason just got real lucky at the end and then he freaking won. Nope, it
wasn't
luck.
luck.
It was because he was pulling out no monsters, the blank one. Before we get into the last game we're going to talk about, we also did play Vast Crystal Caverns again this month, which we
Still
still
amazing.
love. We played Cubitos, which we still
Still
love, and guess
amazing.
what? I won. And
Ugh.
I ain't never lose this game. Ever, ever, ever. It's amazing.
I was so far ahead, and somehow, I think she cheats. I was cruising to victory, and all of a sudden James like, beep, 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 beep,
Yeah,
beep,
and then
beep,
you
beep.
tripped over your dumb shoelaces, you fell on your face, and I passed, you dummy. Then we also played Project L, and we
Ugh.
ended the month with Scythe.
Scythe, still a banger.
Still great. Okay, and
All right.
then the last one, which is another one from our Play Your Shelves Challenge. Jeffrey, what
Western
did we get to?
Legends.
Western Legends.
So we just played the base game of Western Legends. I just got to say quickly before I talk anything about Western Legends. God, it's so good.
Yes.
I absolutely love this game.
Didgeridoo.
So in Western Legends, there's multiple paths to victory. You can play poker to score victory points. You can spend money at the cabaret to score victory points. You can mine for gold and sell to the bank.
Wrangle cattle.
You can wrangle cattle. You can be a good guy. You can be a marshal, or you can be on the wanted track. And the wanted track scores victory points a little bit quicker, but there's more risk. Marshal scores victory points slower, but there's less risk, and you can arrest people. It's just so good. I love it so much.
It's just straight up cowboy stuff.
I love the theme. I'm a big Western theme guy. Can't say enough about this freaking game. I wish we could play it more.
We can. It doesn't play great at 2 players, though.
God, if this was on BGA.
Yeah, actually, this would be a good one on BGA.
Yeah.
But those, my friends, are all of the 49 games that we played in the month of January. February is going to be an interesting month for us because I will be gone from February
gonna be a slow one.
16th until March 7th.
I have to talk about the solo gaming I do.
Yeah, you will. And I'm going to be doing lots of solo gaming while I'm traveling
There
as
we
well.
go. We'll be a solo game month
And then Jeff's going to meet me in Vegas.
for Dice Tower
for
West.
Dice Tower West.
Look at these beauties.
Look at these beauties.
Maybe some content coming up. Who knows?
We'll never tell. That's all the games that we played. We had a great gaming month, and it's funny because halfway through we were like, man, we really haven't played anything.
We took full advantage of BGA
Yes.
this month.
Sometimes that's just what you need.
Yeah.
Let us know down below if you have played any of these games, what you think about them, all that good stuff. And if you're interested in buying board games like any of the 49 that we've talked about today, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us here in Halifax, that is...
Board Room Game Cafe.
Yeah, we got so many of these games from there. Like literally, definitely this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that was closest to me that I could reach. If you like what you see,
Please subscribe.
we hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye!
Better days. If I'm wrong on that, ignore me.
Yeah, just ignore him.
Yep.
That bad boy right there. Maybe we'll...
Yeah, you go.
Okay.
You,
Next up, we are
maybe
going...
we'll what? Flip flop?
We're going to do a shoop and a
Shoop, shoop.
floopy floppy. Okay.
Because people are like, what? How?
Yeah, I'm going to let you talk about that one because I just don't
Sure.
even know what's going on.